Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Kakbadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect of the nation of Israel, starting up with 144,000, which will be the ruling governing body in the kingdom of heaven. Which the 144,000 will consist of all men, and then you have the large multitude of believers, which the 144 and the large multitude of believers are all the 1/3. But a lot of them are the large multitude of believers that will be saved, which are men, women, and children. 2/3 of our people will be destroyed here in America, right? We have the rebels that are scattered abroad in different countries that will be destroyed. And you also have the elect that scattered abroad in different countries that will be saved, right? Of you 12 tribes, of you Israelites, of who the world willingly and ignorantly at this point in time calls black, Hispanic, Native American, Puerto Rican, Jamaican, Haitian, Guatemala, Panamanians, Cubans, right? You know, we are the Israelites, contrary to what people want to believe. You know, I'm your brother Yaramia, come back at y'all with a quick lesson. You know, just my spiritual 2 cents on you know, this movie Fantastic Four, this new one that just came out yesterday, actually. You know, I don't want to give away, you know, too much, but basically it's about, you know, I'll just, you know, give the basis of it, you know, give a quick summary of it. You know, it's basically about, you know, the Fantastic Four, you know, superheroes or whatever, trying to stop, you know, Galactus, which is like, you know, the entity or power that basically, you know, runs everything from destroying the planet. You know, and you know, you have this Silver Surfer person, you know, which is a girl in the movie, right? You know, that the Silver Surfer in the movie comes back and tells them that basically that their world is marked for death. You know, that the devourer, you know, is basically going to come back and destroy the planet, which is Galactus. Which that's this is based off of, you know, the comic books and stuff, and you know, Marvel and DC and all that. Which I don't know which exact side they on. I ain't never really been that deep into knowing who every superhero is, but you know, that's the point. They're trying to stop, basically, you know, like I said, Galactus and the Silver Surfer girl from coming back and destroying Earth. But basically in Galactus, the entity who he's actually before time, right? And he basically needs you know, I think he needs there's like a baby in the movie that this that the woman has that has these powers, because they all have powers and stuff, that the Galactus basically needs the baby, and he needs the power that the baby has to help what he's trying to do. And I ain't gonna say exactly what he's gonna try to do, but basically that's what happens. But it's spiritual because of what roles that that Galactus plays and the Silver Surfer girl plays. Because when the Silver Surfer girl came down, you know, she asked him, "Who are you, the people that's defending this world, or is this your Earth?" And, you know, of course, I'm looking at it from a spiritual perspective. You know, they're all Edomites. You know, which the Lord ain't gonna, you know, of course, in all reality, the Lord is the one who put them in power. The Lord is who created them. He, you know, the Lord ain't gonna ask them, you know, whose earth is this or who's in power. The Lord knows all that, you know. But let me get Job 9:24, right? You know, because, you know, they're Edomites, right? Job 9:24. It says, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?" So we know that, and us it is true, we know that the earth has been given to the hands of the wicked, which is you Edomites, you so-called white people, y'all are the wicked, right? Because y'all changed the appearances of the actual Messiah and the Most High to white people, man. That's not what they look like, That's why it says he covered the face. You cover something, you hide it. They've hid that. But now it's exposed now. The truth is out. In this day and age, in real time in 2025, people know that he ain't no damn white man. But that's not the point. The point is, in the movie, like I said, I looked at it from a spiritual perspective. The Silver Surfer came down, and asked, whose world is this? Are you the protectors of this world? They said yes. And she basically said, these exact words, this world is marked for death, right? And we know that from a spiritual perspective in the Bible, we know that the scriptures say this man is going to go down, right? And most of these people, they are going to get put to death, right? That's all biblical. It's kind of like she was like not like a, we know the angels ain't women, but like, we know that Yahawashi is not, I don't even want to say that, but, we know Yahawashi is a man. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like, she was like playing the role of like an angel, and it's kind of like Galactus was like the Most High, if that makes sense. Brothers see the movie, they would see what I'm saying. I know that, that's not the Most High, that's not Yahawashi at all. It's not even, but the roles that they play in the movie, it kind of represented that in a way, because the Most High ain't gonna come down and speak to us. That's not how the Most High operates. Who are we? He made us. And Yahawashi himself ain't gonna do that either. But the Silver Surfer also said the Devourer, who's coming back to devour everybody? Yahawashi. The Most High, Yahweh's gonna send Yahawashi to do that. With the angels, to shoot laser beams at this place while World War III is coming back, or going on, not coming back. But the Silver Surfer also said that, what does she say? She said, I am the herald of the beginning and the end. And that made me think of Revelations, because Yahawashi is the beginning and the end. So that's why I'm comparing it to a spiritual, perspective. That's why I'm looking at it from a spiritual lens. This is Revelations 1 and verse 7. It says, I am the Alpha and Omega, which Alpha means beginning and Omega means end. The beginning and the ending, said the Lord, which is and which was and which is to come, the Almighty. Right? Yahawashi, those words are in red, which is Yahawashi, who the world calls Jesus. He's the beginning and the end. Right? He's the one who created everything. Yahawashi, they created everything. Right? And by him it's going to end. Yahawashi is going to come back to destroy this world and bring in the age of his kingdom and have Jacob rule. Right? That's what's coming. Right? But the Silver Surfer also said for them to hold their family close. Right? For them to enjoy the moments that they have. And she said time is short. Right? That's exactly what the Silver Surfer said. And we're in a time to where time is short now. In real life, in this current kingdom, time is actually short for the devil, man. This is Revelation 12 and verse 12. It says, and therefore rejoice, ye heavens, talking about the prophets, and ye that dwell in them, and woe to the heavens of the earth and of the sea. For the devil was talking about Esau, is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. So, and it also, like I said, when she said to enjoy the moments that you have with your loved ones, basically to live it up, Let me get this, because this is your world. This is Esau's world. This ain't our world. This ain't you so-called blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans world. We in captivity, right? Just because we're in the physical chains, we still got to go to this man for wanting all things. We got to get his permission to go to a different country. We got to get his permission to do every goddamn thing. This is not our world. Even if you have your own business, you still got to go to the so-called white man to get it approved, to get it certified, right? But you people should rejoice. You should live it up, because like the Silver Surfer said, which I kind of look at it as a sense like it played the role of Yahawashi, if that makes sense. I'm not trying to sound off or nothing. We're going to get this in Lamentations 4 and 21. Because during the movie, I was writing down scriptures on my phone, when the Silver Surfer was talking. It says, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall be passed unto thee, and thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. So basically, hey, they gonna go into captivity. It says in verse 22, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sin. So, you know, them getting their world destroyed, hey, you know, that's not the end of all mankind. That's not the end of all existence. It's the end of them. You know, and you nations ruling. It's going to be the beginning of us ruling in all reality. Right? There was a part of the movie where, you know, after the Silver Surfer had left, they had went to try to go find Galactus, pretty much. Which, if you look at Galactus, let me type in type in his name, Galactus. Right? It's like, look how big he is. He's like, I think he was like 20-something feet tall. You know, which in the movie they show them going into space or whatever and trying to find him, and they ultimately did. But when they found him, there was a big chariot, like it was bigger than the earth. They showed it in the movie, and that's biblical. That's 2 Esdras 13, right? So these devils, man, the way they be making these movies, you know, the scenes that they be having where they show all these different things of how the world's ending and, you know, what they need to do to stop it, and what they need to do to try to keep their world to keep growing. That's all biblical, man. They gonna try to stop Yahushua from return. They gonna try to stop Yahushua from taking over, man. But you don't have that power, man. You was created too. You wasn't just there always like the Yahweh himself. Yahweh has no beginning or no end. He's the Ancient of Days. Right? Yahushua, the Messiah, he was created, but Yahweh himself, he was not created. He was always there. That's why he's called the Ancient of Days. He's before time. And this character in the movie, right, who I pretty much look at it like as the Most High, in a sense, right, he's before time. They literally say that in the movie. He's before time. He was there before the earth was created. And they was talking about that after they had went to go visit him because he had so much power, right? And then I remember when they was talking about it and talking about how much power he got, the girl in the movie, she said like a god, and that made me think of them not believing, right? That's in Psalms 14. Psalms 14 in verse 1. It says, the fool have said in his heart, meaning in their mind, that there is no God. They are corrupt, and they have done abominable works, and there is none that doeth good. And that's how these Edomites think. They don't think that the Most High exists. You know, they don't think that the Most High has control. They think they have what you call free will. They think that every decision that they make, whether it's good or evil, that they have complete control. And they believe that they have complete control over their own fate and destiny. That's not the case, right? Everybody on the planet was created by Yahweh, by Shemyahushai. Everybody, right? It don't matter how good your life may be going. It don't matter if you ain't never been punished. One day you gonna get punished for all the wickedness you've been doing, and that time is coming very soon, right? And the fact that they thought that they could go up against the entity that was more powerful than them, in all reality, that makes, let me get this in Isaiah 14. That's the pride of Esau, man. He thinks that he can't be taken down. That's literally how this man thinks. It's Isaiah 14 in verse 13. It says, for thou hast said in thine heart, meaning your heart means mind, which is Lab in the Hebrew, I will ascend it to heaven. That's what they did in the movie. They went through space to go find Galactus. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh, and I will also sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. That's really talking about North America, but I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, and I will be like the Most High. So, you know, in a sense, they thought that they had more power than him. You know, you go in the movie, all these movies, they always show that these Edomites end up being on top. Nigga, that's not reality, man. And in all reality, when Yahushua returns, who the world calls Jesus, right, you ain't gonna fucking come out on top, man. Your ass gonna be destroyed, you know, tremendously, man. It's not even gonna be a fucking battle, right? I'm gonna get this in Isaiah 46 and 10, because right? The fact that the Silver Surfer character said it was a woman, but like I said, just the roles that they played, the power that they had, that's what I'm comparing to, as far as how that, you know, Yahawashi has the power to do this and do that, to be the end and beginning, which he is. And Yahweh he has all the power. He's before time. He's before time. Right? This is Isaiah 46:10. It says, declaring the end from the beginning and from the ancient times of things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand and I will do all my pleasure. You see? And the Lord, he already got everything that's happening on the earth set up. It was set up like that before the earth even created. Everybody was meant to do what they're supposed to do right now. Even in the times before America existed, all the other kingdoms and empires that ruled, they did what they did and they failed. Right? And America's gonna be the same way, but after America is destroyed by missiles and, you know, by lasers from chariots, when Yahawashi returns with the angels, it's gonna be the kingdom of heaven, and that kingdom ain't gonna be destroyed. Right? And you know, they said something else in the movie where you know, these Edomites, man, they think that you know, their world is just gonna continue on. They showed you that in the movie where they basically ended up, you know, coming out on top pretty much. You know, so lucky if I kind of spoiled a good amount of the movie, or the majority of it, but this is Psalms 49:11 says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and that their dwelling places to all generations, and they shall call the lands after their own names. And that's what they think. These Edomites, these so-called white people, they think that they gonna just be in existence and rule forever. They think that they're gonna be able to take down any and everything. Is when that Silver Surfer person came down, it's like the world has stopped, pretty much. And that's how that's gonna be when Yahawashi returns. Everybody gonna be looking up. The scriptures say, every eye shall see him in Revelations 1, right? Which I didn't read that, but I did read a couple verses down. But that's how it's gonna be, right? You know, these people, man, they ain't gonna be able to do anything about it. You know, they ain't gonna be able to do a damn thing about it when Yahawashi returns, right? This is Job 20 and verse 4. It says, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of a hypocrite but for a moment? Hey man, it's but for a moment. Even though it says, verse 6, it says, though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach into the clouds, yet shall he perish forever like his own dung, and they which have seen him shall say, where is he? You see? And that's what's going to happen to you in real life. You know? Like I said, what do y'all think that these directors and, you know, people that create these movies, these Edomites, a lot of them are, you know, they're Edomites. They're the elite Edomites. They're small hats. Where do you think that they get these ideas from to create these damn movies? They get it from the scriptures, man. Right? They get it from the scriptures. This is 2 Timothy 3 and 16. It says, all scripture is given by inspiration of Yahweh and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, and for instruction in righteousness. So, you know, that's where they get these ideas to create these movies from, and the scenes that they do, and even the words that they say in these scenes. You know, they get it from the scriptures, man. Even when we was in the movie theater, we went to go to the movie theater to see this movie, you know, the previews on one movie, there was another superhero movie that they had showing the previews where basically it was showing like these cyborg type, you know, men or whatever, you know, men that mix with machine. That's where Esau's at now with it. He's mixing man with machine, right? But he said his power is biblical. He literally said that in this movie that was like on the preview before the actual movie Fantastic Four started. You know, I don't remember what the name of the movie was, but you know, the point is that Esau, he gets all his ideas from the Bible, man, when it comes to these movies, for the most part, right? But you know, they when they realized that Galactus was coming on the movie, And when the Silver Surfer came back, they had basically everybody evacuate under the ground. And that made me think of Amos 9. We get that Amos 9 and 2. Right, because you ain't going to escape, the Lord. That says, though they dig into hell, then shall mine hand take them, and though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. You see that? So they're not escaping the Lord, man. You're not. Right? Let me go to Daniel 7 and verse 9, because, like I said, there's a scene in the movie after they went to go talk to Galactus, which this is what he looks like. In the movie, he looks like this. A real big entity, glowing eyes, and that's, I don't know exactly how the Most High looks. I can't say. I can only go off what the scriptures say. But this is a depiction of the Most High. This is Daniel 7 and verse 9. It says, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the ancient of days did sit. It's talking about the Most High himself, whose garment was white as snow, right? Which his garment was white, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. So he had woolly hair like how we do, so-called black people do. And his throne was like a fiery flame, and his wheels as a burning fire. Right? So that's the ancient of days right there. Not this picture. I'm not saying this picture, but just the role that they played in the movie. It was, I looked at it like that. Because it made sense. Who else is before time? Who else is going to be able to control your whole existence and it's going to be able to destroy your whole existence? The Lord himself, right? Which the Most High ain't going to come down. He's going to use YAHSHAWAR to do it. And that's how we get to the Father, is we worship YAHSHAWAR, which you other camps say we don't, but we do. And like I said, when they went to go visit Galactus, I know I said it a couple times, but it was a big chariot, man. And Esau has these images on his satellites, taking pictures of these chariots that's bigger than the earth. This is real, man. This is 2 Esdras 13 in verse 5, because they also show like a scene of where these nations gathered together. It was like the UN meeting or something. They didn't say that on the movie, but that's what it looked like. And all of a sudden they're supposed to come together. And there was that one president that said that if we had a threat that was out beyond our comprehension or control, we could all come together one day and fight against it. That's what these devils are going to do. This is in the scriptures, man. The Bible is 100% accurate. It ain't 98% accurate. It ain't 99% accurate. It is 100% accurate. It's the 2 Esdras 13 in verse 6. It says, but I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. This is talking about YAHSHAWAR when he returns, when Yahweh sends him down in a big chariot, a big so-called UFO, which Esau calls it that. So that's what you see in the movie, right? So, like I said, Esau, these elites, man, they know the reality of our existence, and they know that the Most High exists. But through their pride, through their arrogancy, they not gonna ever admit the truth. They're not gonna do that, and that's because the Lord created them like that. He created them to be the bad guys, the vessels of dishonor. So they're gonna keep doing what they're doing until they be stopped, and that's what it is. Right? I just want to do a quick video on this, man. I highly encourage brothers to go see that movie. Right? It's definitely spiritual. Right? According to what everything that was said in the movie and how it played out, it was definitely spiritual. But it is a movie, right? It's not. You chew the meat, spit out the bones. Esau, he's always gonna paint the narrative of him winning. Of him being at the top, and that's just not gonna happen. But I'm gonna close out. I hope this video was edifying to the Lord's elect, the Lord's sheep. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakak. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Green Millstone. Until next time, I want to say a Baba Shalom.